Hello everybody. I hope you are having a great webinar. Unfortunately, I'm not able to participate in it today. So that's why I'm giving this presentation by recorded video. And now I'm going to share my presentation with you. Wait just a moment. So here we go. My name is Reetta Karhunkorva and I represent the Finnish Forest Museum Lusto, where I work as a senior forest culture specialist. And I am now going to tell you how intangible cultural heritage has affected our museum and changed it, and how intangible cultural heritage is now a part of LUSTO'S museum strategy. So Lusto, the Finnish Forest Museum, is a national museum responsible for forest culture in Finland. And by forest culture, we mean the interaction between man and forest from past to the future. In recent years, Lusto has been renewing its museum concept greatly. And the key driver in this process has been the concept of human-forest relationship, which is based on intangible cultural heritage thinking. Lusto has been using this concept of human-forest relationship since 2014. And Lusto found the concept in the work related to intangible cultural heritage in Finland, when the Finnish Heritage Agency invited Lusto in defining the ICH phenomena related to forests for UNESCO's ICH convention in Finland. And in Lusto we began to think what living heritage we have in Finland related to forests. And we began to list numerous of phenomena related to forests that are living heritage in Finland. And then we ended up actually highlighting the multidimensional relationship with the forest in Finland, which includes the entire range of Finnish living forest culture instead of a single phenomenon like berry picking or mushroom picking or hiking or chopping the firewood or being in the summer cottages in the forests. We didn't want to lift up this kind of single phenomenon. We wanted to bring this whole multidimensional relationship with the forest in Finland. And then we defined this as intangible cultural heritage, as living heritage, which is present in the lives of people and communities. By doing this, we actually recognized a self-evident everyday phenomenon to which most Finns can identify. We made something invisible visible. And ever since this human-forest relationship has been an important part of Lusto's work, and we have been using it. So human-forest relationship has proven to be a great tool for interaction and enhancer of understanding on forest-related issues, and also for analyzing forest-related phenomena. And then the human-forest relationship in Finland was actually submitted for the status of living heritage. And it was among the first to be included in the National Inventory of Living Heritage in 2017. And Lusto has added this human-forest relationship concept in Lusto's toolkit. Now it is an important part of our thinking, and we use this forest cultural perspective in museum work, where these three concepts are intertwined together: forest history, forest culture, and individuals' living forest relationships. And they are in interactive process together, affecting one another and heading to the future and molding the future's forest culture and forest relationships. And we have to go back to the definition of intangible cultural heritage in order to understand why intangible cultural heritage has affected Lusto so much. So intangible cultural heritage can be defined as living heritage, which is present in people's or communities' everyday lives and also at celebrations. And it covers all forms of human activity. It is something meaningful people and communities cherish and practice in their lives and want to pass on to the next generation. And it is important to notice that traditionally culture has been divided into tangible and intangible culture, but this is an artificial distinction because culture is a combination of both intangible and tangible dimension. They are intertwined, they are inseparable actually. And traditionally museums has been focusing on tangible dimensions of culture, but this has been changing and partly due to this intangible cultural heritage work. It is important to notice also that in the core of intangible cultural heritage, as UNESCO sees it, there are communities and groups and individuals who play an important role in the production, safeguarding, maintenance and recreation of the intangible cultural heritage. And also behind intangible cultural heritage definition, there is this modern process-oriented approach to culture, where culture is seen as constantly changing, living, evolving, and in many ways interactive process that both creates something new and preserves something traditional, and there is always individual diversity in it. And as culture is transmitted from one person to another, it is also recreated, modified and varied. Individuals adopt something shared and, on the other hand, they bring their own contribution to the shared. And culture is also located on the whole timeline from past to the future. The past and the traditions influence the present and together they shape the future. And this is behind also Lusto's forest cultural perspective, this process-oriented approach to culture. So, intangible cultural heritage, how it is defined, it is changing the cultural heritage and that way also changing the museums. It's the intangible cultural heritage strong community-based definition that changes the thinking. There is the shift in focus in museum work from protection, preservation and conservation towards safeguarding, which is dynamic. It is about supporting and reinforcing the tangible and intangible conditions that enable the continuous development, reinterpretation and transmission of the cultural heritage to the future generations. In the context of ICH, it is not so much the final creation that is important, it's the process of its transmission. So attention is shifting to civil society, to the communities, organizations, groups, and processes. So this way, ICH challenges rethinking the role of museum. How can museums safeguard something that is alive, constantly renewing and maintained by communities? One answer is that communities and groups should be strongly involved throughout the Cultural Heritage Museum. And the very definition of the museums needs also to be reviewed and widened. And how has Lusto answered this challenge? In the context of intangible cultural heritage, Lusto has redefined its mission in 2018 in Lusto's new strategy. Now Lusto strengthens individuals and communities' relationships with the forests. And earlier the mission was to record, research and display evidence related to forest culture and forest history. So there is a big difference between these missions. Lusto now sees that the museum is not just a collection, not just an exhibition or a building, but a service to its stakeholders and to the whole society. So here was, in a nutshell, the story how intangible cultural heritage has affected Lusto, and how we found a human-forest relationship concept through this ICH work. Human-forest relationship has made the Forest Museum more topical. Due to this work, Lusto is now, for instance, a member of the National Forest Council, which follows the implementation of National Forest Strategy. We have had many projects related to human-forest relationship and many new museum services based on human-forest relationship thinking. So thank you very much for listening, and I wish you all a good webinar. Thank you and bye-bye.